Good morning. This is Eddie G's Music World for another edition of the top 500 countdown of the Rolling Stone magazine. And I have not been on for a while. Well, I've got two kids. They're off from school and they wake up at crazy times and early like me, like 6, 7 o'clock. So this is being done at 4:57 in the morning. So you're obviously getting my efforts no matter what I do, and I can tell you that there has been clamoring for my show. I have literally had to hire security outside my house. People can't believe that I haven't done a show for so long because of the fact that I couldn't get to do it with all the noise in the house. So people, they're just bashing my door down, and they want to hear me so badly that they literally have to hire someone to get to have a normal life again. Now I know that, like, why Howard Stern has bodyguards and people to protect him, etc. It's been horrible, but you know what? I figured I owe it to my legions of fans. I actually got a message from YouTube. I'm number 350 million on their list of YouTube shows. So I'm moving up. That's quite a bit, it's quite an achievement to get to that level. And I hope to get to 349 million in the next few years. And that will be quite the accomplishment as well. It can be done, people. Don't think it won't. You never ever know. If I keep at it, by the time I'm 350, I think I'm going to get the hang of this thing. Now, I have a note that my last song that I did for this broadcast was, I think it was Maggie May by Rod Stewart, which is number 131. Now, my note taking is not amazing, so I don't know if I did that song or if it's the next song to be done. So you know what? It's been a month. Not that terrible. I can redo it or have it a new one. It's okay. So number 131 is Rod Stewart and Maggie May. I think I actually did talk about this. It was written by Rod Stewart and Martin Quittenton. And back when I was 11 years old, June of 1971. And of course, it's mostly about some sexual exciting situation that Rod had with an older woman. Pretty well known. The story's been around for many years, so there's no big reveal that I can make about it. It was the one song that got him to number 1 on the Billboard chart, so in that respect, he managed to break through in the United States, and he was known before that with a lot of less poppy songs, more like rock, like Gasoline Alley and Every Picture Tells a Story, that song, which was the song from the album, and then this song came out and was a little more commercial. We are going to the next song on the list. It is Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf, a very overplayed song, just constantly on the radio 50 years ago. I just heard it yesterday. It was this radio talk show host's birthday, and he was born in 1968. So they played this song, Born to Be Wild. This group keeps touring. They show up in Montreal or Quebec, and they're over 50 years playing. I think John Kay's the only original member, pretty much, if that. Yeah, I think he's probably there. And maybe one other guy, but for whatever reason, this band is always around, always existing. They never stopped their career, which is really impressive. Maybe it's a bit too long. I'm saying that, but I might be seeing a Deep Purple show in about a month, and they've been around as long as these guys. So maybe sometimes you gotta pack it in. But if you're still making money and you're 70-something years old, and you only had 2 or 3 hits, you might as well keep playing. Here's a guy. Boy, the relics are really popping up fast on this list. Somebody who I had been surprised lived as long as he did. Chuck Berry, rock and roll music, and remember the Beach Boys did a cover of it. This is the song at number 129. He just passed away in his 90s, early 90s. It was kind of sad. I saw on YouTube a show that he did into his late 80s, and it was like you shouldn't be working at that point. He had lost all strength and power or whatever that he had in the first place, and deteriorated pretty badly. This was a classic tune for sure. 1957, he wrote it, and produced by the Chess Brothers, Phil and Leonard Chess. Pop charts wise, I don't know. Yeah, got to number 8, so it was a pretty big crossover hit back in 1957. It wasn't that easy for black artists to have hits in the top Billboard Top 100, but they did, and the Beatles, the Beach Boys did their covers as I mentioned, and did great jobs of covering his music too. And we go to next. Let's see how David Bowie changes at number 128. He wrote it. This has been around a long time. Really old song again. Hard to believe David Bowie turned into a dinosaur act, but that's pretty much what he did, because like I say, when you come out with a song and it's a big, great song and all that, but almost whatever it is, 47 years later, I mean, the song holds up. It's great song, but it just eventually gets played too much, and this is the local Montreal radio here. It played the living hell out of this tune constantly, I don't listen to the station anymore, but growing up and all throughout the last few years, it's constantly turn it on the radio. There's changes by David Bowie. That's the problem with when we get one rock station in the whole city. You eventually burn out the songs. And I almost saw David Bowie live and didn't go. A couple of reasons. Lost 2 tickets in a poker game. Lost tickets due to just not having anybody that wanted to go. It was a cold winter night around 2002 or 3, and I just decided to stay home and go to sleep instead of go out. Who's next? I don't think it's a Who, maybe it will be. You never know. 127. Big Joe Turner, Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Okay, I don't know much about this guy except that he was one of these innovative guys from music back then. One of these, guys in the charts of the R&B black songs. And this is obviously the song by the Philharmonic and the Comets, made it more popular. But this was the original. I don't even know if I've heard it. I probably have. By the way, even though it's 5:06 in the morning, there would not be any major surprise that 2 little boys, one or 2, could wake up and come downstairs and join me for this show. It'll be really unprofessional of this type of thing. But I haven't done a show for almost a month. It's so bad that I didn't even know where to plug in my jack. It's like, I don't even know if this is, like it says like it's working, but I don't even know if the microphone's plugged into the right jack, but I think it is. It seems like the microphone is, I can hear myself a little bit in my headphones. In that case, I'm assuming that it's working. I'll just keep going. If it doesn't work, so I took an hour of my life and talked to myself for an hour. But if not, then I talked to all my fans for an hour. Hopefully the second 126 of Shirelles. Will You Love Me Tomorrow? I had the pleasure of meeting Shirley Owens 12 years ago, 14 years ago. Yeah. And I had gone to one of these oldies revival type shows that I'd won tickets to, and that was one of the acts. And she was there, and I said, "Look, I have a list of all the songs you wrote, and would you like to see it?" She said, "Yeah, let me take a look at that." So she did, and I talked about the song, and she said, "Yeah, that was written by Carole King," and she had a little chat with me. This was midnight outside of a popular music club called the Metropolis, which is now called M. Telus. And this, of course, was sexual innuendo about, a story about somebody sleeping with someone and the girl wondering if the guy will still be around the next day. So, was a Carole King song written by her and her husband, ex-husband, late husband, whatever, Gerry Goffin. And that made #1, which is pretty good. That's the year I was born. I was probably 10 months old when the song came out. And we moved on to the next song. Let's see what the next song has in store for me. It is, wow, the Rolling Stones and Jumping Jack Flash. This was at number 125. It's amazing. This song came out 50 years ago, and the #1 rock act touring in the world, according to Eddie Trunk, who read it off some list from Pollster or something, and it's the Rolling Stones. Imagine. They're in their 70s now, and they did like 12 shows, and they pulled in about $100 million. This is the first 6 months of 2018. They're #1. So all these young acts and rockers out there in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 30s, 20s, whatever, they still cannot compete with Rolling Stones for money. Those guys do, like the other acts I met, like in their younger years, they do 50 shows and probably make 30 million if they're lucky, and these guys do 12 and they make 100 million. So I'm trying to see. Apparently, the lyrics for this song were inspired by Keith Richards' Gardener. Wow. I guess it was some kind of reference to, he had uttered the phrase "Jumpin' Jack." I think the gardener asked him, what song are you listening to or working on? And he said, "Jumpin' Jack." Not that exciting a story. Well, we'll move on to another song. By the way, that got to #3 in 1968. We're going to the next song on the list. I don't know what, I've got to come up with something incredibly amazing after this list is finished. I'm sure I'll find something. It's only an hour. Number 124 is James Brown. His song, "It's a Man's World." Sure, he says we'd be nothing without the love of a woman, but you can't come up with this song today, because the women's movement is super strong, stronger than it was in April '66 when this came out. He co-wrote it with somebody named Betty Jean Newsom. I never heard of her, but he was an innovative guy. I mean, with all the dance moves, inspiration of Michael Jackson. Obviously, he wrote some of the material, and he had to sue to get some money from the record company way after that, and he died around 2004 or 5. And thought of seeing him live, but I did not. And then he died. Had some trouble with the law, that guy, for sure. Number 23, a band I did see live. Eric Burdon was the only original member there. It was the House of the Rising Sun. Funny, it's a weird situation because there was this classic song which was kind of put together many years before the Animals got to it. But the writer was listed as Alan Price, who was in the Animals. So I think what they did is they took some classic evergreen song that had been kind of differently arranged, like it didn't sound the same, and they changed up the arrangement so much and maybe changed some words that the only credit for the writing was the guy in the Animals. But it was a folk ballad, an old U.S. folk ballad, about a girl trapped in New Orleans poorhouse. They changed a few things around in the words, like I said, and the keyboardist Alan Price got the writing credit because it was so incredibly different from the original. I don't know how he managed to pull that off, because whoever wrote the original part of it should have gotten more than nothing, but maybe they just never could find out who it was, which was really good for Alan Price, because he ended up getting the writing credit. Next is 122 on the Rolling Stones Top 500 Songs of All Time. Ben E. King, "Stand By Me," of course, when it came out in 1961. And then, of course, the movie with Rivers Phoenix and all kinds of other famous people that came out of that. And that revived the song in the 80s, and that made it a hit again. So it's one of those rare things that a song is hit two different times. Because of a movie, it made it a lot more current. And I know that John Lennon did a cover version of "Stand by Me." I think it was one of his deals where he owed some work to Phil Spector. He had a debt to him over some song, and they did this album, Rock and Roll, and this was on it. Benny King, I believe, was in the Drifters, yeah, in the late 50s, early 60s, and then he went solo. And didn't have a lot of hits, but this was definitely the biggest one. But he did a lot of singing on the Drifters, so got to get credit for that as well. Number 121, I wonder who it could be. And on Eddie G's Music World countdown of the top 500 Rolling Stone songs of all time, the Jackson 5, I Want You Back. None of these early songs were written by any of the Jacksons. It was like Barry Gordy Jr., some other people, Pete Richards, Perrin, and Mizell. Don't know who they were, but they were not, the Jackson 5 were not picking their own songs. They were kind of young. They just went along with whatever they were told to do, pretty much. And this, of course, was one of the first few number ones that they had in the early days. And they had 3 or 4 in a row. And, you know, Michael was obviously the main singer on their early songs. And we all know the history of that act. And the passing of Michael, there's nothing I can add of any incredible information to that story. But I remember from my youth, back in the late 60s, loved hearing that quite a bit, but it always stood the test of time. Even if it's overplayed, it still creates a great reaction. People hear the radio, I hear the radio, whatever. I always do like the song, and will continue to like it for sure. Let's see this volume control. We're going to keep going down the list. Going to get to number 1 eventually. I don't even know what it is. Number 120 is Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way, written by Lindsey Buckingham. Lindsey has just left Fleetwood Mac. Some kind of dispute, but this band has thrived on disputes. They've been around for over 50 years, and people have come and gone like unbelievable. So for him to leave is no big surprise, but going on tour without him. From what I can remember, it's Mike Campbell has replaced him. Mike Campbell was in the Heartbreakers with Tom Petty. Tom Petty passed away, so obviously that act is dissolved. And Mike Campbell took the place of Lindsey Buckingham. He's a great guitarist, so sure it'll be well done. Anyway, Stevie Nicks is still in the band. I think Christine McVie came back. John McVie's there, of course, McFleetwood. They're still touring. I did see them like 9 or 10 years ago with Lindsey Buckingham. I did find it a very well done show, but I'm not sure I want to see them again without Lindsey Buckingham, because he keeps on leaving the band. Eventually we'll lose something in the mix, right? Okay, 1959, the Isley Brothers song was Shout, parts 1 and 2. 3 Isley Brothers co-wrote it, O'Kelly, Ronald, and Rudolph. From what I can tell, there's one Isley brother alive. They caught him, but they saw him walking down Broadway, I think it was, dressed up in a fancy suit. And I don't know how these TMZ guys know an Isley brother from anyone else. He wasn't there with any entourage or gang of friends or anything. He just was walking, and they knew it was him. And this was famously done in Animal House as well. And didn't get to number 1, not to number 47, but it was played a lot. I used to go to Concordia University's beer bashes, and we used to play this all the time. That was I had a very, very short-lived drinking period in my life, which was like a month or 2. Every once in a blue moon, I'll drink 2 beers a year, pretty much. But at the time, I remember going to these beer parties, dances where I never met any women, but I went anyway, and they used to always play this song. I had a radio show back then, too. Next, Beyonce. Really tired of seeing and hearing anything about this girl. Jay-Z, all of them, Crazy in Love, I don't care. Okay, it's good. That catchy song, number one. She's the, this unbelievably popular person that no matter what she does, makes millions of dollars a year. Nothing against the girl, but overplayed, overhyped, over her and her ex-heroin, her coke dealing boy, husband Jay-Z. Is she pregnant? Is she not? Just plasters the internet. You can't open the computer without seeing some story about her Kardashian. Blah, blah, blah. So, although it's very well put together, produced, everything, musically, the act itself just gets on my nerves. And, they'll come to tour and sell out, but there's talent, but sometimes you just get beaten over the head so much by an act, you just hit them out. You don't want to let them deal with them. And that's my situation with someone like that. There's a couple more like that. Number 117, back in the early 70s or 74, Al Green's song, Take Me to the River. Not the one that gets played, that's for sure, because the Talking Heads did it 4 years later. And that's the one that gets played on the radio. Al Green's song in Motown is just never hear it ever. But he co-wrote it, so I'm sure he appreciates the fact that David Byrne tours, maybe he plays it, I don't know. And the Talking Heads, that was not a massive hit as far as the charts go, but on FM rock radio, Take Me to the River is like a super popular song. And you hear it a lot. Okay, Al, sorry to not talk about you too much more about the Talking Heads. Another Rolling Stones song, I have a feeling they'll be showing up quite a bit. 116 with their song Honky Tonk Woman. You don't have to tell you who wrote it, it's an automatic. This got the number one. Sounded like a song about a hooker, but I don't know. Maybe it was just some wild girl in a bar. Mick Taylor started his career with the Stones for this album and this song. And he stayed for quite a bit, maybe 10 years. And then I know that he wasn't getting a fair cut in his opinion of the money and left. But he never went on to have this glorious solo career. But he did a lot of session work probably, and did some side work, and probably critically got a lot of credit for doing songs. By the way, this is the July 20th, 2018 edition of Eddie G's Music World. We are still managing to be on the air with a guy who doesn't know if his microphone's plugged in, doesn't know if his kids will wake up and join the show. It's exciting. Okay, moving on from the Rolling Stones song, Honky Tonk Woman. Going down the list, I bet it's a Beatles song. I did not see it yet. Just because I know this guy who makes the list, he must love all the Beatles and Stones. Sam Cooke, you send me, so I was wrong. Number 115 on the list, made it to number one. He's the kind of guy that, he was a great voice, but he didn't sound, he didn't sing like a James Brown. He sang more smoothly. He had quite of a crazy life, where he ended up getting shot with a prostitute, some story like that. But this song, covered by other people. I don't remember who it was, but for sure I've heard it by some other soulful act. And he did write it, or whatever people who are left in his will are still reaping the benefits of a song like this, because it gets played a lot. Probably on commercials. And 1957, so I wasn't even born. That's how old this one was. Number 114, let's check. I won't guess. The Drifters, wow. Okay. 114, and it was from 1962, Up on the Roof. Another Carole King, Jerry Goffin co-write. This is the reason why she has so much money that when somebody tried to move in next to her, or build a house next to her. She ended up buying the land to make sure they couldn't do it. And up on the roof, kind of a quaint song about people just relaxing, hanging out on top of the house, up on a roof. And beautiful song, similar to the Shirelle song, with the same mood, the same tempo. And a lot of singers came in and out of the Drifters. Good chance that Benny King sang on this, I don't know. Because he was a bit earlier, so he might not have. But, it says Rudy Lewis is the singer. After looking into it a little further, he was one of the great singers, I guess, in that band. And it almost made number 1, up to number 5. I'm a little worried the kids are going to wake up. So I'll go as long as I can. I heard a little noise upstairs. Just saying. Number 113, Elvis Presley's song, That's Alright. I'm actually not talking loud because I don't want to wake anyone up. That was not that long. Written by Arthur Crowd. That's Alright. That's one which is That's Alright. That was the Sun Sessions. Didn't chart because he hadn't really broken through in the charts yet. This is when he was pretty young and early part of his career. It wasn't until another year and a half after that he started to get these big songs and became this massive star that he is. And sad thing is, I don't know how this is humanly possible, but his daughter is broke or going bankrupt. Lisa Marie. I think that she's been divorced 3 times, and when you're Presley's daughter, you got the money. And all 3 of these guys were not huge big deals. Well, Jackson was, Michael Jackson, but you don't think he got any big money out of that or anything at all, because he had his own big money, and he had no kids, so I'm not sure about that. Maybe she ended up throwing him a few bucks. Or he gave her money, I don't know. But the other 2 guys, I forget their names, and they probably took her for quite a bit of money. Now, her singing career never got off the ground. She had a couple of songs out here and there, but nothing. And her mother, I think, makes fortunes of money from that Graceland. Maybe she got all the big money and then Lisa Marie burned through her money. Just amazing that somebody in that situation. Listen, I've blown money in my past, but I never could get near any kind of money like Elvis. His daughter should have been able to get near. It's just incredible. But she's probably must be about 50 years. This woman. She had a couple of kids, and one was a model, and one was a singer. Their careers, I don't know what happened. I know that Lisa Marie's daughter was pretty attractive. I think I saw a picture of her, and her son signed about 5-6 years ago to a record deal. But I don't think that ever turned into anything major. I could be wrong. And that's my story about Elvis for today. Number 112, Hank Williams Sr. I'm So Lonesome. I've heard these songs, you know. He's pretty good. He's got a very laid-back delivery and made a lot of inroads in the country music, and he didn't really cross into rock, obviously. He died pretty young, so he wasn't around in the 60s. He got to leave in the 50s. And of course, his son did that football, Monday Night Football team, and had a lot of kids. His son probably sold a lot more records, I'm sure. Hank Williams Jr. Definitely a big star. Had health problems in the last few years, but he's still around. Definitely Hank Williams Sr. had a lot of talent, and the few times I've heard his songs, I thought they were well done. Okay, we are moving. Maybe we'll make it to number 100 for today. And then I'm going to check to see if this show was actually recorded. Hope so. Number 111 is Otis Redding with the song I've Been Loving You Too Long to Stop That. I have heard this song before. 1965. He was very young when he got popular. probably in his early 20s. So he didn't live that long. He died late 60s, and then of course the posthumous Living in Gothic Bay. He was a Monterey Pop Festival. He did a show there, and a few years later didn't last that much longer. He got a co-writing credit on this song with Jerry Butler, and produced by Steve Cropper and Jim Stewart. Jim Stewart, I don't know, but Steve Cropper did a lot of. He was in the Blues Brothers. He did a lot of session work with Muscle Shoals or some other entourage or the studio musician group. And the next one is a huge song by Van Morrison, a guy that's, this is at number 110. This is Brown Eyed Girl. This crossover work, meaning his top 40 success, was limited because, well, Van Morrison wasn't the kind of guy that wanted to, he wasn't trying to be commercial, he wasn't trying to get top 40 hits. He had his own unique style. This is originally supposed to be called Brown Skin Girl, about him in a black girl, or someone in a black girl. But the record company, I guess, they thought it was a little controversial to have a song about someone's, to mention skin color in the song. So he wisely changed it to the Brown Eyed Girl, and that made it to be a big hit for him. Like I said, if you base popularity solely on top 40 hits in the U.S., this guy would be like a one-hit wonder pretty much, because he didn't have songs that were like popular. He had songs that were, very deep and ethereal and soulful, that didn't appeal to the typical top 40 radio station playlist. But still, he comes to Montreal, wherever he goes probably, he can do a theater, a big theater, and sell it out, even auditorium. He's just an evergreen guy, and he's probably in his 70s, and he's just, people love the guy. I kind of like his music. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on it. He's come up with probably 40 albums in his life. I certainly know about 10 songs at the most. But I do, I like his voice, I like his songs too. Number 109, moving down the line, Prince. Died 3 years ago, almost. Little Red Corvette, apparently a sexual song. Big shock, big revelation that it's sexual. It's Prince, the Christ sexual. Well, mostly what he sang about. Wrote it and produced it. Of course, multi-instrumentalist, does all the music sometimes. And had a good beat. Big contributed to 1983 when I had my radio show in Sherbrooke, Quebec. I used to play this. Because I had a list of songs I could play and I couldn't play. And the guy who ran the station had a little sticker system where he put a sticker on singles that could be played. You could play some from this group, some from that group, whatever it was. I followed along. I worked for free. I guess I called it a job, even though I didn't get paid, but I did work. And this Prince song definitely had whatever we needed to have to make it a pop song. And, Prince was huge act and missed by many, I'm sure. Number 108, I'm going to say it's American. Yeah, Buddy Holly and the Cricket, Not Fade Away. Written by Buddy Holly and Norman Petty. And number 10, he made it. And this was redone by the Rolling Stones. Of course, we all know about Buddy Holly's death in 1959. Over-discussed situation. And he probably would have been a bigger star if he would have lived longer. Seemed like he had staying power when he was around. He did knock out about 10 hits or 8, 9 hits, whatever it was. And you don't get this one that much. It's not as much as Peggy Sue, but you do hear it occasionally. And I think his widow is still alive. I wonder if she's getting money out of this whole, whenever, I think publishing, I have heard that Paul McCartney bought out his catalog. Not 100% sure if he still has it, but the publishing was owned by Buddy Holly. By Paul McCartney. And maybe he still owns it. Paul McCartney, I don't know how this guy doesn't just hang it up at this point, but he's still touring, coming to Montreal in the next few months. I have seen him twice, Paul McCartney, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go. You're listening to Eddie G's Music World Top 500 Countdown and Rolling Stone songs, and we are still moving. And we're looking at number 107 on the list. And Bob Dylan song. He's in here quite a bit, Bob. With Mr. Tambourine Man. But they didn't put the Birds one in. They put the one original, meaning Bob singing his own song. And typical hippie dippy song from in those days. Probably about something important, but I never really feel there was any brilliance in the lyrics. It's a song about a guy playing songs. And musically it was nice guitars. The Birds version is the one I think of when I think of this song. Not so much the original by Bob, but Bob did okay version. It's his own song, but might as well. This was not a hit because it wasn't a single. Not to worry, the Birds put it high in the charts, maybe number one. I don't remember, but that's where he made his big money when the Birds did it, that's for sure. Number 106, a guy who's been to town recently. One of the two guys is Simon and Garfunkel, the boxer, written by Paul Simon. And let me see if there's any major story about this. It was great. It's always a story with Simon. He's always got some story to tell. And luckily for the two of them, they both could sing really well. So if it didn't sound good for Art, it sounded good for Paul. They always made it work. And he was just in Montreal, Paul Simon. I don't think Art Garfunkel really does any extensive touring. And they don't work together very much anymore. They had a pretty contentious relationship over the years where they didn't really always get along, kind of thing. Number 105, Stevie Wonder, Living for the City. I always thought this was a really gutsy song to come out with about crime in the inner city that Stevie Wonder may or may not have experienced himself, but he certainly knew all about it. All about the black girls coming off the bus and, living in the bad neighborhood and people saying things to her and all the things she experienced. Sounds like Stevie Wonder could relate to that kind of scenario since he wrote so beautifully about it and sang that song. Got to number 8, which is amazing for the fact that it's such a downer type of song. It's all about struggle. It's not the typical top 40 tune, you know. And we're moving on. Someone who just passed away not that long ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Number 104 on the list is Donna Summer with Hot Stuff. Disco staple, definitely memorable, and played constantly on the radio. She did not write it. I don't know if she wrote any of her hits, but she definitely was a great singer. And this is some kind of a sexual song. Kind of a rock blend of dance. And Jeff Skunk Baxter is the one that played the guitar solo in that. I guess later on, that's the thing that Michael Jackson did with Beat It when he had Eddie Van Halen play the guitar and Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's group doing the guitar solo on Dirty Diana. Those kind of trends developed from there. Although Jeff Skunk Baxter, I didn't know until recently, was the guy that played the guitar on that. And it always sounded like a Bad Girls, Hot Stuff, those kind of songs were all pretty central. Okay, 103, Gene Vincent and his Bluecats, Be-Bop-A-Lula. Now, we know that song very well. And he passed away young as well. I'm pretty sure it was a motorcycle accident or something that did it. And yeah, that's what it was. And this was very hunting song. I'll give it that title because it's slow and it's melodic and it's got that guitar style that he must have played the guitar. I'm not sure. We'll go to number 102. And Jimi Hendrix Experience, Voodoo Child. Boy, these guys on this list, and a lot of them are dead. Pretty sad. Well, why should it be sad? The fact that most of them are dead doesn't mean anything really is that bad about that. Really. So, Voodoo Child, typical of Hendrix's songs that went top 40 hits, except for one. And then this one was not top 40. And if it was a single, it wouldn't have charted that high anyway, because it was extremely hard rock, more guitars up front than you would typically hear, like on typical Monkees records or anything like that. This is more an FM song. And back in the day, and then of course 1970 late, or 71, I forget which one, at 27 he did pass away, but the guitars were really amazing on this song, and vocally he wasn't, he wasn't the type of vocalist that came out with beautiful ballads or anything. He did his job, he sounded good doing it. Number 101, another Rolling Stones song. Okay, I do like them, but getting a little bit, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more of them. And you can't always get what you want. Try to ask Keith Richards what he thinks about the fact that Donald Trump uses that song sometimes when he does speeches, because I never don't like Donald Trump. I guess Keith Richards has better things to do than answer me on Twitter, whatever I ask him. And let me see if there's any, well, you hear it quite a bit. It's a great story. It's not overplayed to the point of ad nauseum. It wasn't even a top 40 hit. I got to number 42. And 1969. And like I said earlier, group still together. Very few roster changes. Bill Wyman left in the, what was it, early 90s? Something like that. And he's been replaced. And Mick Taylor has actually come back to the band. Probably not as a member, but doing some guitars. Maybe they're just paying him per show. I don't know how it's working out, or if they're going to have the record, if they'll be on it or not. But like I said earlier, when they leave the Rolling Stones, you would think the guy would have been in big demand, but the limelight never shone brightly on Mick Taylor after that. He was doing a stint on, what was it, Jimmy Kimmel's band or something? And he was right next to Howard Stern being interviewed, and Howard Stern said to him, "This is what you're doing now, hey? You're in the Rolling Stones. This is how you've turned," like he was making semi-condescending comments to Mick Taylor for not staying high in the public eye and kind of being a background type of person. But back on the Rolling Stones again, so it's a smart move for sure. Okay, we're going to number 100. Let's see, can I guess? I'm going to guess. I love Dylan. Loves the Rolling Stones. He hasn't even the Beatles in there. I'm going to say it's Imagine by... Let's see what it is. I'm just guessing. See, and it's Gnarls Barkley Crazy. Never would have guessed that. I love this song. 12 years ago already. And a big part of that band was, of course, CeeLo. He was either the singer or he played the music. I don't know. He was a big part of Gnarls Barkley, CeeLo B, and did get himself in lots of trouble because a couple of girls said that he slipped them roofies and had his way with them. He was a judge on The Boys, that stupid show where he would wear all these yellow canary outfits or whatever. And he's kind of been pushed out of the limelight, pushed off the air. You don't hear him, you don't see him because of that scandal he got caught up in. It definitely hurt his career. Now, for all I know, he's writing hit songs behind the scenes, he's producing, he's doing something, and he's still very involved. But for sure, you don't see him anywhere on TV anymore. You don't hear him interviewed anymore because he has a bad Me Too thing with the guy. Where he's connected to doing some bad things with women. It's no longer accepted. Danger Mouse produced this. Wow, that's the guy who walks around with the mouse head? Or am I mixing him up with Bucket? Number 99, a band that I've seen John Fogerty twice, and this is his band CCR, released Clearwater Revival with Fortunate Son. Back in 1969, way back when. I used to hear this quite a bit. It's a great anti-war song. And Fogerty's still around, still tours, doing a tour with CZ Top. Still going strong. He's in his 72, 73 years old. And I think I saw him the last time was about, I think it was 2 years ago. And I'd won the tickets. And he still had that black car, still dresses in the plaid shirt. He's in good shape. People have seen him running around Hollywood or Beverly Hills, jogging. Actually, the guy that saw him jogging was the guy from Chris Cornell. He said, "Oh yeah, I saw him jogging," and then Chris Cornell died, and this guy's still alive. Well, Cornell died through suicide, so he didn't die of natural causes. But this guy's still around. It's amazing. And touring. Coming up to number 98, and here it is on Billboard's, Rolling Stones Top 500 Songs of All Time Countdown. Al Green again. Carlos Al Green, Love and Happiness. I do not know this song very well, if at all. But according to Al Green, women like him, and maybe it's one of these romantic songs that the women at the time, 46 years ago, when this came out, must have been into this type of song. And it's a soulful delivery knowing Al Green, which I don't know Al Green. No, I know his music, so I guess I can say that. We're closing into number 1 on the Rolling Stones Top 500. And we see the next one, Roll Over Beethoven Again. Who wrote it? Wow. Number 97. And done by ELO, great version. Chuck did his own great version. Sure, there's another 1 or 2 famous acts that did this song. Beatles? Yeah, they did. So he has been a massive star back in these days. 1956. Played a lot. Mid-60s kind of wound down, and he had a stupid song about his dingling. I don't think I can tell you what that was about. In the early 70s, or mid-70s. Imagine. He had all these brilliant songs, and a live version of a guy talking about his dingling knocked the number 1. It shows, if somebody would have told him that your biggest song would be about that, probably would have laughed back in the early 50s or late 50s. But that turns out to be the situation. Okay. Number 96. I'd say it's a woman. Let's see. No, Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire. Great Balls of Fire. That could be about anything, right? Anyway, didn't write it. It was Blackwell and Jack Hammer wrote it. He's still alive. It's still amazing that this guy got to be close to 80 years old. I'm not sure if he's even working anymore. But a guy like this, I get the feeling he kept his money. I get the feeling he's living in a modest house. Every once in a blue moon, we'll trot him out. Like, Little Richard. And just let him crank out a few songs, give him a couple $100 or $1,000, whatever he makes, and send him home. Just because he probably can't pay his taxes. That's just a feeling. Feeling I get. I mean, I seem to remember he was Elvis's cousin. Yeah. And he once showed up in Elvis's driveway with a gun, waving it around. He married his cousin. He was quite the rebel back then. And keep living, Jerry Lee Lewis. Why not? Maybe you'll have another hit and shock the world. Or someone will redo the song. Well, he didn't write it. Probably doesn't know the publishing. Doesn't really matter. Except for financially, anyway. Closing in on the lake. Oh my God, I hear people waking up. I might not pull it off. This will be quite an exciting last 7 or 8 minutes of my show with my kids are looking at. Wow, what the hell? Let them join in. Number 95. Oh, here comes a child who's going to be part of my show. I almost made it to the end. Hi, Jeremy. I'm doing my radio show. You're going to be on my show. Nobody listens, but you can have fun and say hello. I only have 7 more minutes to do. Can you be quiet for 7 minutes? Okay, good. That's my lovely son, Jeremy. He's a good kid. Maybe one day, when you hear this, Jeremy, in the future, you'll realize I'm talking about you. This is a song I bought at 45, I think. Carl Perkins, Blue Suede Shoes, number 95. Back in 1956, so I guess I didn't buy the original because I wasn't born yet. Or maybe I bought it and it was after it came out. And he wrote it. But for sure it was, I think it had it's sort of a rebirth in the early 70s, or maybe it was re-released. Because I do have a vivid memory of buying this song at some point. And this was the number 2 song, just the beginning of the rock era. And I know Elvis did it, of course, too. And classic song from the Sun Sessions with Sam Phillips, which produced it, too. And I just mentioned Little Richard, and here he is on this list. Number 94. Little Richard's still alive. Saw him do on a talk show in a wheelchair. It was a bit sad, I guess. And talking about how people think he has all kinds of money and he couldn't pay his taxes at one point and isn't as wealthy as people think. And kind of a bit sad. And he had to sue the record companies too and got some money out of it. Who knows how much. And Good Golly Miss Molly, of course, was one of his biggest songs that he had back in those days. And he lasted quite a bit as far as popularity till the mid-late 60s. And by the 70s, I think he was pretty much done. And from what I saw on the show, he didn't look like he was healthy enough to perform. He said he wasn't performing enough. And I guess when you're that old, not easy to get up and play piano and sing. Right, Jeremy? Yeah, my son agrees. He's co-hosting the show for the next 5 minutes. And here's another boy coming down the stairs. It's Corey. There's 5 minutes left in my show. Hi, Corey. You guys got up. If my show's recording, you're going to be on the show, Corey. Say hi. Corey's on the show, too. Yeah, I don't know if it's really working, but you can say hi. I'm talking and you're talking to Jeremy. We're talking about music. There's only 4 minutes left of my show, Jeremy. And you guys join me. It's okay. Number 93. Okay. He's the producer. So I have to do what he says. What do I have to wait for, Corey? Yay, his video's done. Only got 4 minutes to go. Number 93. U2. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Of course, Bono wrote it. Where's the other two guys? Anyway, this is number 1. I think this band for 2018 got to, I think they got to the 3rd or 4th biggest act of the year. And they made like $50 million. See? My fans are excited. They can't believe how great U2 is. Yeah? Yeah, it saw an insect. Maybe it was the crickets. Or adamant. Oh my God. My son doesn't like ants. Well, I'm not going to get too far with this U2 discussion about their song. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But just to say that they're almost 40 years. They're about 40 years and they're making a killing. They're still recording. They're still touring 40 years later. And for the first time in ever, their last album or two did not sell a lot because, you know, people aren't buying records anymore. The most excited I've been in years. My son sees an ant crawling on the floor, and it's all a big thrilling part of my show. It's gone. The ant's gone. What was it, Corey? It's an insect. An ant is an insect, Corey. It's a type of insect. So, Bono, you know what? I don't care about you that much. And you know what? You're going to be the last song on the list, number 93. U2. I still haven't found what I'm looking for because, you know, I bet by now fucking Bono found what he's looking for. He's got a mansion, he's got castles, he's got lots of money. Every time he's mad about some stupid situation, he goes and talks to a prime minister and tries to get money to help the poor people. What the hell? Good for you. I think if you really cared about all those starving poor people, you would take that $100-something million you're worth, turn it into $800,000, and give the whole $99,200,000 to the poor people. And stop acting like you really care about all those poor people, because we all know it's probably a little bit true only. Meaning, you might care about the poor people, but let's face it, you don't want to be poor in order to help them. So, you know, I care about the poor people. I have a little bit of money, not a hell of a lot, but I'm certainly not writing checks for $50,000 each. But I don't go around telling everybody how much I care for the poor people to make myself look like I care when I really don't care that much. Okay, you care a little bit, Bono. I'm happy for you. You care a little bit about the poor people. But still, those poor people could use all your money. So why don't you just give it all away? Go back to a little hut somewhere in Ireland and take your kids and sell your big apartment in Times, you know, in New York, and just end it there. Okay, we are ending it there. Number 93. U2. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Eddie G's Music Row. And you know what? This is the best show I've ever done because Jeremy Gleason and Corey were all contributing to the show. They helped me do the show. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Corey. Say goodbye. Yeah, goodbye, Eddie G's Music Row. Cutting out for another day. We were thrilled to have done this all together. And we'll be back another time. I promise you. We'll get to number 92. Bye-bye.